there and then. Welcome, everybody, to this session on finding the value of digitizing the food industry. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm so much looking forward to talk about my two favorite things, which are technology and food. So let's just set the stage. So digitizing the food industry can have a great amount of value. It could have a great amount of benefits, like digitizing and streamlining ordering processes or delivery, or improving inventory management, making sure it's more cost efficient, making sure that the human resources are actually being spent where they need to be spent to create value. There's a lot of things happening in the food industry and with technology nowadays. And today we're going to focus on the Coca-Cola success case, which is an amazing case to dig deeper into. My name is Charlotte, and I'm the CEO and founder of Total Control. We're a B2B software company focused on food waste prevention, inventory management, and food traceability. But together with me today for the next 30 minutes, I have some amazing people. We're going to spend these 30 minutes hearing some presentations from them, and we're doing a Q&A, and we'll also open up for some questions from the audience if there are any. But in order to introduce them in the right way, I need to make sure that I read it correctly. So I'll open my folder. With me here today is Oriol Folguera.
Good.
Perfect. He's been in Coca-Cola for the last 17 years. He has a solid knowledge in customer service and supply chain in all areas, as well as experience from multidisciplinary team leadership. He is an expert within manufacturing and enthusiastic about caring for people and their growth in high-performance environments. Before joining Coca-Cola, you were in the automotive and electronic sector in quality and manufacturing areas. So a great guy. And with me and we have Roberto Delgado, which is the CEO of Meline, a B2B industrial software solution startup driving transformational change for large and medium-sized companies worldwide. So Roberto, he is a telecommunication engineer. He has developed his career in Paris and Madrid in large technology companies, such as Renault, Indra, and Thales Programas, and he has worked as a consultant specializing in lean manufacturing methodologies, and co-founded a software development company specializing in mobile development. So two great guys, and we're going to focus on the Coca-Cola success stories. So Oriol, if you can take it away.
I need your help with, where is, okay, thank you. Good evening. Thank you to stay with me this afternoon. And we try to explain Coca-Cola Europacific Partners. We are a team of more than 33,000 employees, professional with our commitment and passion. We serve on 1.75 million customers in 29 countries in Western Europe and Pacific. But we are also a multinational company, but with a local soul. In Iberia, in this case, we have a huge impact and influence in the Spanish economy. In our case, for example, we are the 0.5% of the PIB in the Spanish economy. And really, in this company, we have a great strategy with our great beverage, great service, great people, and then sustainability. And in this case, in our customer service and supply chain, we have this strategy with efficiently operated, with a customer-centric, with our employees to engage them, and then with a for sustainability future. One supply chain strategy framework. With this strategy, we have different priorities for this 2023, and in this case, it's very important for us, and it's the objective of this conversation with you. In the operational excellence, we are in the scale and performance, and we need different tools that help us to evolve our people. Because in our sites, we really have a lot of data that we manage with different tools. In this case, for example, it's a complicated business in Iberia because perhaps during April to September, practically we double the volume and the employees that we have. And in this case, for example, the technology that you can see today, we apply in Iberia in 11 sites of manufacturing and 22 warehouses around Spain and Portugal. This type of business need really a digital strategy, and in our case, we are now in a 4.0 digital journey. And in Iberia, really, we have different tools that provide of our sites. In this case, we have different elements on our lines, or perhaps we have different data from our energy or water with our operations, etc., etc. I am sure that you know all of different tools on that. For example, in our case, when we work in maintenance, we use the Cyclo for our maintenance guys, or for example, the other tool from the Chronos, that in this case is the time on attendance, or why not, in our case, in all of Europe, Integrum tool for the quality and safety. But for example, we didn't have any tool that help us to our shop floor employees, our collaborators, to have a common language. And in this case, we find 2 or 3 years ago, Emmeline company was a startup and joined us, and we joined with them to evolve, in this case, different tools that they have. We use Emmeline with our employees in the shop floor, in the 11 sites at the 22 warehouse, and in this case, help us in our roadmap in operational excellence. We want to reduce our variability in our process, and then to try to scale with a little bit improvements to continue to grow year by year, because our business is very, very fun. We have 3 pillars that we put all our employees in this operational excellence journey, in this case with very strong standards that we need to operate in the similar points around our factories. We provide and we have strong data that we manage, that we analyze, that we have different tendencies, etc. But we have the first, that was our employees, our people, that we need to help them to have good routines, and we look forward to the next month and years. In this case, Emmeline, with their tools, help us in this case to put focus to our people development within our line operations, with our planned downtimes, this PDT, with yields, performance, or operational routines, maintenance, etc., etc., etc. In our journey with operational excellence with Emmeline, we can use these different modules, and in this case, we put focus on improvement drivers, on action plans, on production lines, and production alerts. This is all improvements that help us to provide better results month by month. But Emmeline production system, what it means? In our case, in Coca-Cola Europacific Partners, these last 2 years, we use it, in this case, the master audit, the 5S, the observation, the visual standard, and the TPM. And here you have different examples. If you can see the presentation I read, I am sure in this audience there are people that speak Spanish and perhaps read Spanish or read English or hear English. It's not a mistake. It's because in our company, in our factories, we need a common language that all of us talk the same. And in this case, when we transform the knowledge of our people to the visual standards, to the visual tools, help us to really do a benchmark and learn about one of each other. One of them is the 5S. Another one was the TPM, for example, model that you have here, the visual picture, sorry. And another one, finally, the visual standard to our ITs, to our instructions of working, the ways of working, etc. Our employees have the opportunity to read, to create, and most important, to help to tell us what is important for them and to continue improve. This is the way that we follow with the operational excellence, with these different tools to provide for our supplier, in this case, Emmeline. The last one, for example, in this case is the PDC, the action plan. And this is what our employees have an opinion. They are really happy, sorry. And he said to us that Emmeline includes 6S. Really, they had to work better, and for them was important. But all of that, it's not finished. We continue to work on that, and with all of this data that provide our employees with this type of systems, that we have a huge data that perhaps we can use in information. And I think in this case, in the next level, Roberto, in our silver journey, Emmeline can help us to evolve with all of this data.
Let's hear more about what you guys have done.
Thank you, Oriol. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this, for sharing with everybody this success case in the total number of production sites and warehouses all over Iberia. When Emmeline was born, we have the idea to create something that rely on the people to move the improvement in the factories in a way that will be very easy. In that moment, in 2014, we decided to build the Emmeline production system. And as you can see here is a general picture of all of our solutions. We have divided them into two big groups. We call the first one with the preventive solutions that are intended to help people in the shop floor to avoid safety, quality, any kind of problem in production. The first group is the standard work solution that will help, as you see in the examples of Coca-Cola, how to create workstation standards, visual standards, and also in the case of Coca-Cola, we have not implemented the skills matrix, but we are able also to trace whatever is happening with our workforce there. In the shop floor management, we are helping top management on the Gemba work routines in order to align this strategy in the shop floor. And with the routines, we are helping team leaders to establish a rhythm in the production to focus on important things, but not only on urgent matters. With the start of production, we are helping also clients to guide very carefully on how to start the production, because there is a change of shift, because there is a change of reference, whatever, but we give the guide for the operators to do whatever they need to do. We run audits for sure, and also the model that Coca-Cola is using, the TPM, is helping to put in one single place all the standards regarding the center lining, the lubrication, whatever companies have implemented to keep the preventive maintenance task done in the shop floor. But at the end, the most important thing for us are not these preventive solutions. For us is the improvement drivers. At the end, no matter if you are using our system or you are doing whatever outside us, you need to put in place the PDCA cycle in movement. And for that moment, for us, the improvement drivers is key. We handle perfectly the action plans, the production alerts, the improvement ideas, and the problem solving to find the root cause of whatever issue we are having in the shop floor. And finally, with the HSE risk, we are trying to anticipate also safety problems, which is a very, very important matter for everybody. But this is what we have now, and you must think in a factory, a place where people are making a lot of decisions, where they are performing a lot of actions, doing, sending emails, creating Excel files, doing many things, and everything is scattered in the factory. What we are doing with our MPS is to give a kind of structural information that we can start to analyze, which is important, the knowledge of the people. And this is where we are right now with Coca-Cola in all the factories. But now in our R&D department, we are starting to aggregate all that information at a corporate level, and we are starting to apply the artificial intelligence to understand and to understand what is happening in the factories, what are the patterns that are suffering or are occurring at the same time in the different factories, in order to get best knowledge and share the knowledge between factories, or optimize the workforce we need in the factories, or even give more autonomy to the people, because at the end, this is what we need. We need to give more autonomy to the people that are in the shop floor to be more efficient on what they are doing. And basically, this is the future. We have deploying this solution all over the world in more than 30 countries. But the goal is to get all knowledge from the people in the shop floor in order to apply artificial intelligence and, let's say, to empower them and yes, augmented the power of the people in the shop floor. Okay?
Perfect. Okay, give them a round of applause for the presentation. That was be good. So it's amazing to see what you guys have done together and what you're trying to do. And over the last 2-3 years, you've been working closely together. What this topic of this session is, okay, finding value in digitization. So for Coca-Cola's case, what's the value that you guys see with the partnership?
The message is very important in this case that that in my experience and these different years in the Coca-Cola, we have different tools that always put the focus on the data, put the focus on the artificial and the technology, but sometimes forget the people. And I think in this case, with this type of tools, we can provide to our people, to our employees, a tool that really they used to, and in this case, they provide us for ideas that, for example, the managers that don't thinking about. And this is the value that this type of technology provides us to improve our processes. It's very important in this case because it's the language that we can speak with our employees around the old factories, and we don't need to stay in there because we have a common language in the digital system.
Yeah, so it opens up the communication and makes it easier to get that information.
Yeah.
In regards to Emmeline, what's your kind of value based on the partnership with Coca-Cola, other than having Coca-Cola on your website?
For sure, we are working with many kind of industries, automotive, food industries, building, mining, and the question is that we are developing a solution that needs to be enriched with the feedback of all these industries. In the case, we learned a lot from Coca-Cola because it's one of the top beverage manufacturers in the world, and we learned a lot of things to implement in the system that has been key for us to be success in other customers. So for us, we have learned we need to be humble. We know how to create technology, but we need to understand the needs of the client, of the people in the shop floor, and they opened the door from the very beginning, and that was the best for us.
Is there any challenges that have been, what's been the biggest challenges in working with this together over the last 2-3 years from Coca-Cola's side?
The challenges were how we combine, in this case, the knowledge that we have our people with the knowledge that provide, for example, the new technologies, the new tendencies. And normally, it's more cool to pay attention to the technology, to the data analysis, data analytics, but sometimes then our workforce, normally, it's more important in this case, our people, our collaborations. These type of tools help us to really have a good conversation with them, a good communication, and create the company of the future in the Coca-Cola Europacific Partners. Why? Because we are passionate of our beverage, of our service, and on our people. In this case, I think, help us.
And Roberto, from your side, what's been the challenges?
Many challenges, for sure. We are a technological startup, so we have 50% of the company are engineering people, but the big challenge, not in Coca-Cola, but in every client we have, is how to engage the user with the tool, how to make that change between the current way of working, which is the paper, the Excel, and the new tool. Even if you have designed a very easy to use tool, and even if you make all the effort, it's a challenge. And that's why we have a customer success team in our company that is helping our clients to start smooth in a very easy way, and they help them to the end user, we are talking always, to embrace the technology and be success with the use of the tool. So the main challenge for us is not a technological challenge, it's how to help our customers to be success with the tool, and that's for me the most important part of the project.
How does this fit with small, medium-sized companies now? Coca-Cola is a large company, so is it easy to implement such a solution in small companies or medium companies? And
I have to say that it doesn't matter because we are talking about Coca-Cola, but there are small factories where they are producing water, and there are only 30, 40 people there, but they receive with the hands quite open the solution. The challenge is not the size, the challenge is the need to be better, to be more productive, to be more efficient in the way we are doing, and it doesn't matter who you are in terms of size, okay? But sometimes the smallest companies think that they need a lot of resources, they need a very big culture. No, at the end, it's a question of starting small, defining 2, 3 key processes that you have already implemented, and start the digitalization wheel. So from my point of view, we have very big companies being successful and also small companies. There is no difference.
What would the main KPIs that kind of Coca-Cola looked for when partnering with Emmeline and doing this and implementing this solution?
Practically, we can follow the all KPIs, and in this case, it's very easy for us. We have different data technology, but in this case, with integrated in the Emmeline system. KPIs from manufacturing, for warehouse, and in this case, perhaps with the demand, with the planning, with the audits. Really, you can combine any KPI, but more important, I think, in this case, in our experience with this type of tools, and when we implemented this last year, it's the ideas and it's the ideas and the comments that our employees tell us. I think this is the better KPI that we have in our company, not from external KPIs from our assets or our facilities, more than our internal people that really are, I think, a KPI that it's not copy, and it's very specific from the people from Coca-Cola Europacific Partners. This is, I think, the good of this idea.
So you see kind of the benefit of like kind of helping the employees on the shop floor, making sure that they are able to kind of communicate their needs and their wants in order to kind of be creative and innovate.
I put an example, Charlotte, because I think that I explain better. Here there are people. If I need to tell any one of them I love you, for example, I need a lot of phrases. But with a tool, I can put this in a visual tool with a heart, and all of around on this room understand me what I say, and all of around in this room can provide me their feedback, and I can grow with their feedback. I think this is the really approach in this type of technology to try to don't forget that we work with people and for people.
Now this has been going on for the last 2-3 years. So what you guys have done together, and then the plan is to roll it out. Oh, you've managed to roll it out in different factories and warehouses, which is great. And the plan is now to roll it even more out?
It's a secret formula.
It's a
secret plan. I think we don't know. Now we work in Iberia, but for example, we have colleagues in France, in Belgium, and in GB that wants to implant in their sites this type of technology. We work together to try to understand what is the future and the next steps, because the technology really changed very quickly. But we think we have a good feeling, and we have the same idea to the technology help our people and not the inverse. And I think we can, maybe next year we can be here to explain what is the next step.
Yeah. I have to say that we are, I have to say in Spain, sometimes it's easier to innovate in the way we do things. I don't say that in other European countries is not possible, but we in Spain want to do things first. We want to try, we want to innovate, and that's why it was easier here. Now we are performing a pilot project in the Netherlands. It's been successful, and other countries are asking for that, but they need more time to say, I want to try, I want to change. It takes more time sometimes to go outside of Spain.
Do you then have any advice, because there's a lot of companies and startups here in this Food for Future fair. Do you have any kind of tips or tricks in regards to working with big corporates like Coca-Cola, or getting them as a client and working well together with them, having a successful pilot and a rollout? Do you have any advice for anybody in the audience?
Well, I think one or two advices. For me, it's important to start with big companies like Coca-Cola Europacific Partners, because you are going to learn a lot. They are open to give you feedback, to help you on that. This is important, but on the other hand, I won't try to be in the biggest players in the world in the food industry. We need to select one or two to help you, and then you need to focus more on the mid-size and small, because I think is where you can add more value in terms of helping the mid-size company to be more efficient and so on. I mean, I don't say that you cannot help other big companies, but the timing is so slow that you sometimes don't have the chance to wait for all the big players. So select one, two, make the pilot, make the rollout. After 2-3 years of experience, move to other kind of companies, because it will be easier and quicker.
And we're here talking about the future of food. You have a lot of experience in the food industry. Like, what's your thoughts in regards to the future of food?
I think in this case, in the future, it's very relevant, all of the activities that really, and I am sure these last 3 days talking about here a lot of sustainability.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very important driver. And then around of them, in this case, digital or people combined with that. But the future on the food, I think in this case, the industry, it's sustainability. This is the word that is the key.
Good. I want to open the floor. Is there any questions in the audience? Any? Yep. There's a question over there. Let's see if we can get you a mic. He's on it. While he's getting the mic, it's...
Yes. In this case, an example, if we have a tool, you send me a question and I answer quickly.
Yeah. They have the tool for it. Don't even need a microphone for that.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, Uriol, and Roberto. Uriol, the question is for you. Could you say that with this tool you are increasing your productivity in the shop floor and in the industry?
If I understand,
If you are with this tool, you are increasing the productivity in the shop floor and in the factory.
No, really. In this case, we find, for example, last year we increased 1% of our mechanical efficiency, and but on the other side, I think this is a tangible benefit. But from an intangible benefit is that our people are more connected, our people are more engaged, and in this thing, I think we continue to receive their improvements. When you try to put this type of technology, this type of project that we need, you need an experience curve. Perhaps first, don't look around the benefit. I think I know that it's important, but invest in your people, because in the next years the business changed, the technology changed, but the people will provide you the best ideas that you can have.
And the second question, why don't you use the rest of the tools of MLIN? Because in one slide you explained that you are using 5 of 8 tools of MLIN. Your experience is very good. Why don't you use the rest of
in this
tools?
case, it's the journey that we began 2 years ago. First was in two models of these tools. There are, I think, 8 or 9, and we only use 5. And in this case, with this journey that we did together, then we discover difference, and our people. Why we don't do the check, the audit with this tool that we have in the standard? Roberto, do you have? Yes, I have this tag. Okay, and we grow on that.
Yes,
I think in this case it's
the last tool we implemented was because whenever someone was doing a TPM or an audit, someone said, but I only can create actions. I need to give an improvement idea even if something is good, because I realized that something could be done differently. So this is the last module we integrated in the solution to not only help people to create actions, but also give improvement ideas that are giving additional benefits to the factories.
And to try to final this type of answer, you never have the global picture to the beginning. Normally you begin a way, you begin a journey, but you need a partner that you have trust. And then finally, in the different years or months, you have a global picture and you understand which type of tool you need.
Perfect. Okay, we don't have time for any more questions, but to round this session off, could you maybe give like a 15-second your advice in regards to improving operations, improving the food industry, and working together with startups like Emmeline?
I think the public can answer for me, but I have them. I explain all of the session. Hear your people and work for your people.
Roberto?
Don't expect short-term results on digitalization. Start the path. We are sure that in the next 10 years, everything is going to change. Don't be afraid. Start small, pilot something, whatever, but start. Don't think about 2 years to do what is the best strategy to do. Start.
Okay, so to summarize, start small, think of your people. Perfect. Thank you, Oriol and Roberto, for this session, and this was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.